Brilliance Audio presents One Heart at a Time by Delilah, performed by me, the author. My name is Delilah. I've had a lot of last names, and I have a lot of nicknames, but most people just know me as Delilah. You may recognize the name from my nighttime syndicated radio show, where I take calls and emails from listeners and help them work out their issues. That would make sense, as I've been on the air more than 40 years. Playing your song request and dispensing 3-minute snippets of advice on my radio show is just a small part of my day. I also founded a nonprofit organization called Point Hope to help others in need. In the past 14 years, I've been back and forth to Ghana, West Africa, over 30 times, at least twice a year, helping refugees, the elderly, the disabled, and vulnerable local population to gain access to things that we take for granted, like food, clean water, and health care. I've got 13 kids, young children to adults, 10 of whom are adopted. I've got grandkids to love on, farm animals to care for, and acres of gardens to tend to. I'll admit sometimes I grapple with my own on-air advice to slow down and love someone. It is true, though. All of us need to slow down and step into another pair of shoes. Perhaps the shoes of a person we disagree with. We need more love and understanding right now. People are being divided and pitted against one another. Images of rioting and unrest fill our TVs and computer screens, and we no longer bat an eye when they do, which is a whole other problem unto itself. A house divided will not long stand. We are a house divided. We are fighting against our brothers and sisters. Instead of building bridges of understanding, we're building walls of division. Never before in the history of our world have we needed love more than we do today. We have amazing technology that allows us to connect to each other in an instant. And yet people are more lonely and more isolated than ever before, which also makes it easier to engage in the vitriolic discourse that divides us further. It's easier to engage in mean-spirited warfare when you can hide behind an online profile. The growth of the overall disconnectedness or abject loneliness of people during the last 2 decades has taken on a life of its own. I hear it from callers all the time. Older folks who miss their adult children or grandchildren. I hear it from young people who feel like they don't have any friends at their school or anyone they can trust. I hear it from young, exhausted single moms trying to make it on their own, and from married men and women who feel completely isolated from their spouses. Almost every person I've talked to who ever attempted suicide, and I talk to hundreds of these survivors each year, says the same thing. They felt utterly and completely alone, unable to bear the weight of the sadness from their depression and isolation. And I travel to developing nations and see small, unfurnished huts, maybe 12 feet in diameter, that are home to half a dozen people. Or I see houses where families have lived in the same neighborhood for generations. I suspect they're not nearly as lonely as we are in our modern developed culture. Our world is in trouble on so many fronts, and it's hard to be up against forces so enormous and powerful when you are one person, one heart, trying to affect change. Sometimes I feel like a tiny mouse facing down a rhinoceros. So how do we change the world? The answer? One heart at a time. I'll start by sharing my heart with you, by sharing my personal stories and what I've learned in my experiences, the positive and the negative. My hope is you'll start to see the miracles in your life, recognize divine promptings, Consider your purpose. Follow with prayerful obedience. Open yourself to serve others and let go of the things that burden you. All so you may find peace in this harsh existence. When your life comes into harmony with the Lord's plan for you, and people around you start to notice the change, guess what? They'll want to know what you know. So you'll share your stories too. Soften hearts, open eyes, and change the world with me, one heart at a time.